Hi there. If you're a midlife woman who is a grey area drinker and you're struggling with this idea of quitting and living without alcohol, I want to share something with you today that might surprise you. Many of the women that I've worked with, initially when they come to me, they believe that the hardest part about giving up is a variety of different things. For example, fear that you're not going to be able to handle the cravings or deal with your triggers or deal with your change in relationship with your partner and asking them to stop bringing wine in every night, or fear of losing your relationships, or feeling that you don't know who you are without alcohol, or feeling that you've got no idea what sober you looks and feels like and how that woman lives. And in reality, all of those are post giving up fears. But actually, the really, really hard part of giving up is possibly where you are now, which is that space between the moment that you thought this needs to stop, or I need to cut down, or alcohol is becoming a problem and I need to give it a rest. But from that point to the point that you actually stop, for me, is absolutely hands down the hardest part of quitting. I know women who've been in this state for decades, and what happens is, because you are having the thought, but you are still doing the action, you are creating a tension within yourself that often results in beating yourself up and feeling guilt and shame and hiding your drinking because you know it's a problem, and all of the sort of negative self-talk that goes with this feeling of your values and your beliefs are that you don't want to drink, but you are doing it. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. I call it like the horrible tension that you constantly live with. And one of the things that women don't always realise, and I hope this is really helpful for you today, is that when you think about giving up alcohol, you get all of these sort of fears and these thoughts rising up about how difficult it is. But if you think about a moment in your past, we've all had them, where we've had a toxic boyfriend, a narcissistic one, a terrible job that is just draining, bad relationships, a female friend who's just not really good for you, toxic family dynamics, all sorts of different situations that you've been in. But there was a moment where you said to yourself, I don't care about the consequences. I am stopping now. I am stopping this relationship. I'm getting out of the job. I am getting out of this situation, and I don't care what happens next. You know what that feels like in your body, don't you? It's a sort of combination of fear and relief. And because alcohol is so good at making you feel really, really negative, it's very hard to imagine that there's a positive version of you on the other side of alcohol. But if you can just give yourself 10 days, I've got a 10-day reset in the link in the description box below if you want to have a look at that. But if you can just give yourself 10 days of life without alcohol, but spend those 10 days being endlessly kind and nurturing and nourishing and loving towards yourself, you might be surprised at how much more positive you feel about yourself, about life, about the future. And it might just give you the impetus to keep going. There are no perfect solutions to giving up alcohol. There is only your solution. This one is one that I've come across very regularly, and I don't want you to sit and struggle in that mid place where you are in constant tension. I want you to let go of alcohol. Join me over here. Honestly, this is such a great place to be. I am so happy. I'm nearly 9 years sober at this point, and it's so wonderful. I know that it feels difficult, but it's amazing how much better you will feel quite a short time after stopping. Obviously, be sensible and speak to your doctor before you quit. None of what I offer is medical advice. Speak to your GP and make sure that you get the advice that's right for you. But living without alcohol is wonderful, and to be free of that awful tension from that point, if you think back now, it's probably many, many years ago when you first had that thought, to maybe today, you can let go of all of that. And I know you might fear the consequences, but honestly, life just gets better and better and better, and you come back to who you were always meant to be. I really hope this has given you something to think about, and I'll see you soon.